The characters that you do play, are you modeling them after maybe people you've seen in public where you imagine their life is a certain way, or maybe people that you grew up with? Where are you finding this backstory for some of these characters? Are you modeling yourself after people you've known?
No. I suppose I'm not a good enough actor to do that. I suppose that I should observe people more and try to copy them, but Karen, I don't even know if I really know how to act. I've never been trained to do it. I just know how to become other people, and some of the time I can do it well enough so that people say, you're really the guy. You're really the redneck, who's slashing the Mexican's throat. That's a real guy, right? That's not an actor. I get those comments about stuff I do. So I just keep going to my own dark well, which is dark enough to draw from.
And then with Scare Tactics, they are crowdfunding. Have they shot the film, or is it in post?
No, we shoot in September in the fall.
Oh, okay. And whereabouts do you shoot?
Here in LA.
Okay.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
The reason that, I did this East Coast stage career for 13 years and came here 3.5 years ago, and I got really tired of sleeping on the road, because in theater, that's where you make your money, on the road. If you're willing to sleep in Wichita one night and in Louisiana the next, you can make money. But I wanted to be in a place where I could practice my craft and sleep in the same bed. So when it's an LA shoot, I'm always really happy. If it's an out-of-town shoot, like I gotta go to New York next month, and it's a lead role, and I'm glad to have the feature, but I'm like, why can't they shoot it in LA?
Right. When I was a little girl, I would write letters to Michael Landon and Scott Baio and Brooke Shields and ask them, how do I get into the business?
Did they write back any of them?
They did not, unfortunately. But I'm not even sure if I sent them to the right place. What would you advise somebody coming here? I mean, so many people think, oh yeah, go to Central Casting, and they sign up and you see all these bright, happy people from other parts of the country thinking that this is their ticket in. What's the way to work in this business?
Know who you are, and know who you are on camera, and try to make them the same thing, because the camera is a great truth detector. And I learned that on stage you can lie all day long. I did musical comedies, I did all types of roles, but the camera is right there. It's all eyes, and you have to tell them the truth. If you lie on camera, you won't be any good, and then you won't work on camera. So you have to take a real assessment of yourself. Look at yourself on camera. If you don't like what you see, there's probably something in yourself you don't like, because the camera ain't lying. The camera's telling the truth. The camera's telling you what you are and who you are. And if you don't like, you can't, I'm going to do a makeover. You'll still be the same damn person on camera. You've got to accept what the camera sees if you're going to work on camera. That's what I think. Camera acting's a whole different animal than the stage. And I know that sounds kind of nebulous, and people want to hear, oh, I need a good agent. They'll do it for you. But if you've got that, if you can say, what is it that the camera likes to see me doing? Where is that in me? And how can I make a clear channel for that? When I get on set and I'm in front of a camera, it's my friend now, because I know who I am. I know what it wants me to do. The camera's like a lover. Michael Caine said that. And I find it to be true. The camera knows how it wants you to touch it. And if you don't touch it that way, it'll go look at somebody else. It's a fickle lover. So you gotta keep it happy.
Interesting. So what if you see yourself on camera and you don't like what you see? Where do you do that inner work?
You have to define what it is. And now, crassly, this is called your brand. This is what you are. I tend to be dark on camera. I'm somewhat menacing, always a little bit, a little disturbed, a little off, something a little strange. Just the way the camera picks me up. So I gotta find that stuff in me. Am I a little weird? Am I a little offbeat? Am I a little messed up? Am I a little strange? Yes. Acknowledge those parts and embrace those parts. You just can't lie. If you lie and you try to be a camera actor, unless you have really big breasts and you're 20 years old, you will not be a success. And then, as soon as you're 25 and you start to get the first wrinkle, it's gone. So, I'm a middle-aged guy. I came to LA, I'm nobody from nowhere. From a stage career that was big on the East Coast, but nobody cared about here. So I had to create myself, and to create what I am on camera and make it who I am as a person too. So this has been really good for me. It's been a good process. I know who I am. And I think that's what acting's about, right?
Mm-hmm. How did you come to know your type? I mean, what was it? Was it a casting director that pointed it out?
When I came to LA, having done musical comedy and all sorts of light roles on the East Coast, my agent at the time sent me out for these soccer dad roles. And, happy soccer dad, and for commercials, and, it's the acne scars. And there are all sorts of scientific studies on what types of faces make you trust them and which type don't. And I have all the hallmarks of a face that you don't trust. The deep set eyes and the uneven texture and the lengthened face and the nose. I've got all of it. Everything about this face says don't trust me. So anyway, I was doing these soccer dad auditions, and this really nice camera guy at an audition took me to the side and he said, dude, you're the soccer dad who's going to kill the team and eat them. He said, that's what the camera sees. That is the truth. Go dark, and the darker you go, the more you will work. Change everything that's online about you to reflect that brand, because that's the truth that you are on camera. And he was right. As soon as I started doing that, I started working more and working regularly.
Were you okay with this evaluation?
No, not at first.
Didn't that hurt?
Not at first, because I had deluded myself. Actors are great self-deluders, and I had deluded myself into thinking that I was so versatile that I could do anything. And under the right lights on stage and under the right makeup, you do get fooled by the applause, because you can do anything there because it's a big tableau. But the camera, again, this is it. This is the camera. It's right here. There's nothing to hide behind it. If you try to hide, it's going to show in your eyes. So accept the truth or don't work. I chose to accept the truth of what I am on camera. I know this all sounds very pretentious, and people might think, oh, it's just about, standing in front of the camera and finding my light and looking pretty. And it may be for another actor, but it's not for me. This is the only way that I can work.
What was the turning point for you when your career began to click? Was it when that casting director told you this is your type and you went with that?
Yeah.
And how did that happen? I mean, so then you knew, okay, this is how to market myself. What was it about that took you in a new direction?
I came into contact with the person who's now my manager shortly after that, Matt Chasen, and we talked about branding. And I have a marketing background. I love marketing. For theater, I marketed a lot of the shows that I was in. And so it clicked. It's the same thing. I'm laundry detergent. I'm Tide. What kind of Tide am I? I got a whole shelf of Tide. What am I? I'm Creepy Tide. You wash your clothes in me, they're going to come out creepy no matter what. Somebody else may be Sunny Tide or a whimsical Tide. And that's just a silly metaphor, of course, but that's the way I thought about it. All right, then how do I market that? I want casting directors to know exactly what they get if they cast me. Now, I have actor friends who say, dude, that's very reductionist, you should be more broad-based. I don't think so. I think people are so extremely busy that they only have time to know one thing about you, one thing. And so I gave them that one thing and made it consistent all across the web. Without the web, I wouldn't be working. Most of what an actor can do for themselves is free. It just takes time and imagination.